Yeah, I think that's really a good, interesting RP going on. And I'm really glad that all of this is like slowly tapering out. You know what I mean? Like, people complain about there not being a lot of slow burn RP on the server, but CPD is like one of the best slow burn arcs that I think has happened in 3.0 because it's very very gradually incorporating more and more people into it from more and more different groups. And it's all happening organically, right? Like the tipping point for all of this, for anything to come out and start getting leaked at all, was the whole Pred being in debt thing and Diamond Hand like refusing to bill him. Imagine if Diamond Hand just like allowed him to be billed because it would be more convenient to like hide what was happening, right? No one would have ever asked any questions. No one would have ever looked into anything, and it would have been like the easy way to avoid any kind of risk to your RP, right? But because, you know, Dean and Lang and the people that are involved on that side are such experienced RPers, you know, they're gonna go with what makes sense in character. What makes sense as character is to be overly like, you know, conniving and manipulative and try to like not bill Pred and Gunner, right? Which then raises eyebrows and questions get asked, and then it turns into this whole long-term snowball effect. Like, because Crane barely knew anything about anything. All he just saw was someone not getting billed for millions of dollars. And now it's all the way up to the point of, like, you know, things getting FOIA'd and more people in the PD learning and the bunker being built. I mean, there's so many things that are coming out now that are sort of like all snowballing. And I think it's making for good RP, and it's the thing that's keeping me like on the server, to be honest. Um, It's obvious as fuck, yeah. But I mean, a lot of the Cerberus stuff is obvious as fuck OOC, but like in character, it's always important to remember like what you actually know versus what you think, right? So um, Crane actually knows a lot, but there's a lot of people who I think in this position Crane's in are like OOC, everything's ruined because everyone knows about CPD. The only thing Crane knows for sure is that Pred is involved with Dean and Lang and Cerberus. It involves something bigger than just the casino and Diamond Hand, and it could potentially involve the prison, and there are contracts. And he knows that Cerberus Industries arms exists, and he knows that the Armory business proposal talks about creating new technologies as well as like normal solutions for government as well as police issues. But that could mean anything, right? So it's like it's a very it's a very open-ended question that has a number of solutions. But what Crane thinks is happening at this point is likely that they have some kind of leverage on Pred, and they're probably just like funneling money from him is probably what it is. Like Crane in character probably thinks right now that there is some fishy shit going on where Diamond Hand is getting a bunch of money through the government because Pred owes them a bunch of money. So if Pred signs a bunch of shitty contracts with them and then, you know, they get the money through the state, and Cerberus makes a bunch of money, and then Pred eventually gets his debts paid off by Cerberus, right? That's about the most that Crane would like think right now. And maybe the bunker has something to do with like where they're, you know, claiming their place of business is, what they're making that has to do with those technologies, but who the fuck knows? I mean, it could be anything. Now, I got told about Cerberus PD in character by the troopers, so it's likely that that adds more credence to the idea that like Pred is doing something, but I don't know if that means it's like an official thing or if it's like a nickname for Pred being, you know, under their thumb, or there's so many options, man. But the important thing to remember is that like, you know, it's beneficial for everyone to have this stay in RP and everyone to act on what they know in character. Which is why, right? Because if I was acting OOC, right, and I was like relying on knowledge that I have from OC, I'd be like, you know, concerned about this FOIA, and I'd be like, this is something sensitive, and we need to make sure this gets out there for the people. But in character, for me, it's just like, this could be fucking anything, bro. This could literally be about toilet paper. You know what I mean? So hats off to everyone involved. I think it's really good RP. I don't think there's anything being ruined. I think it's all good developments. Crane made Diamond Hand default on loan? No. What ended up happening is the Senate and the DOJ collected their portion of the money because the state funds most of these loans, right? So the DOJ and the Senate collected the state's portion of the money lent to Pred and Gunner. So the state got refunded their money that was lent out. All of the fees and interest and everything that Diamond Hand owns, the state just said, do what you want with that. That's your right as a corporation. If you want to collect from these guys, be our guest, but we're washing our hands of this because it shouldn't have happened in the first place. Very simple.